He fought for respect on the battlefield, while hiding a secret at home that would change how you see him forever. Tonight, we uncover the intertwined story of Kody Brown, the patriarch from Sister Wives, his quest for good quality manhood, on Special Forces, world's toughest test, and the shocking lie told for years with his wife Robyn Brown that's now upending everything. Stay with us, because the truth we reach will hit harder than any training ground. Everything changed the moment the helicopters roared and the desert cracked beneath his boots. The camera pans slowly across Morocco's scorched sands where Kody trained, each step echoing years of hidden decisions. He came here to prove his worth, to himself, to his children, to the women watching. But the battlefield he chose mirrors a bigger war. Back at home, the story was simpler. Kody and Robyn, a polygamist family under the bright lights of TLC, presenting a unified front. A family that believed in faith, sister wives, love. But at the heart of it lay something quieter and more insidious, a lie. A lie about how Robyn entered that world, about his role as leader, about what manhood really meant. What happens when the hero you trust turns out to be rewriting the script behind the scenes? For the women across America who've tuned into their story, this is your moment. The one you didn't see coming. Part 1. We go back to the beginning. Robyn joins the family. She brings 3 children from a previous marriage. Kody courts her after years with the other wives. On screen, dreams realized. Behind the scenes, a deeper calculus. Sources now claim that the story of how Robyn arrived is dramatically different than what was shown. In articles published in 2025, it's alleged Robyn was Kody's mistress, that their relationship began outside the narrative built on camera, and that the show's premise required a new wife to make it commercially viable. The women of the show, they've repeated it as fact. Robyn joined the plural marriage believing in the faith, in the sister-wife bond. But was that truth, or performance? Next we look at key moments, wedding dress, finances, family roles, that appear to contradict the public story. And you'll see the cracks start to show. The weight of expectation fell heavy. Inside the family, wives expressed concern that Robyn wasn't contributing as she claimed, or as the public believed. Critics say the lie began to snowball. For women watching at home, the image was of a sister-wife model, shared burdens, shared love, shared faith. Instead, we begin to see favoritism, division, financial strain, and distance. She wants to sleep in, doesn't organize or clean much. I think we've all had a coworker like this and couldn't stand them. Behind the glossy shots, the narrative that Robyn entered purely by faith is called into question. What if the real motive was different? What if the spiritual marriage script concealed something else entirely? And for the audience of women who trusted this story, what does it mean when the heroine is hiding her own agenda? Up next, we'll reveal the moment the lie went public, and you may be surprised who set it off. The defining twist. In October 2025, a major article surfaced claiming that Robyn was Kody's mistress prior to the show's filming, and that their first meeting was at a mall, not at church as depicted. This revelation sent shockwaves through the fandom. The carefully crafted narrative broke, exposing gaps in what viewers had accepted as truth. For much of the audience, especially women who sought authenticity in that family unit, this was more than entertainment. It was identification. Suddenly the question wasn't just, what did they hide? But, what else are we being told isn't real? The women who once championed Robyn's role felt betrayed. The wives felt validated, and Kody's credibility vanished. Stay with us, we're about to explore the fallout, the fans, the reaction, the daughters, and you'll see how deeply this ripple spreads. And here comes the twist no one expected. While the mainstream article exposed the meeting, what insiders reveal is far more explosive. The entire narrative of joining the plural marriage out of faith may have been built after the fact, an image created to justify the show's casting and secure network approval. Robyn didn't just enter as a wife, she entered as a storyline. The lie wasn't incidental, it was foundational. For the women watching, this matters. It means the role you believed you were buying into wasn't character development, it was contract. And the contract had terms you never saw. As the revelation spread, social media erupted. Loyal viewers felt manipulated. Forums lit up with threads like, How could we trust them when they lied from the start? She was never interested in sister wives, she was interested in him. Fans who identified with the faith-fueled family image felt blindsided. The wives, meanwhile, have publicly reacted. One child even called out Kody for lying for the entire world to hear. And behind the scenes, the family dynamic is fractured. Trust is broken. The promise of sisterhood has turned into the war zone of truth versus narrative. For you, the woman at home who watched every episode, rooted for the wives, embraced the journey, this isn't just reality TV drama. It's a breach of trust. And many are asking, what happens now? Part 2. For nearly 2 decades, viewers watched Kody Brown as the patriarch of the Brown family, the multi-spouse household at the heart of Sister Wives. A figure of authority, of faith, of public image. But behind the cameras, the feedback shifted, from admiration to criticism. Kody admits that today, Sister Wives has really become an experience of criticism and backbiting. Amid this transformation, Kody's confidence had taken a hit. He said, "I feel like my confidence is coming back. I had to fill that space of grace and love for myself." Enter Special Forces, the reality competition series where celebrities are pushed through military-style tough tests, survival-style scenarios. Kody's decision to join, not just for fame, but for meaning. He saw it as a pivot, a way to rebuild, to show his children he could still do the impossible. So he hauled himself into chopper rappels, 800-pound supply hauls, and night nav exercises. A new battlefield, a new version of his story. But beneath this bravado lay an emotional conflict. Can a man prove himself through challenge? And will those around him believe the proof? We'll dig into what Kody calls his good quality manhood, but what does that look like in practice? And why are the women in his orbit uneasy about what it's masking? Kody states, good quality manhood is taking responsibility for the job that needs to be done and doing it. He contrasts this with his former life, a household of multiple wives, shifting alliances, intense family pressure. He says he doesn't consider himself a great leader, but he's forging one through hardship. Women watching the show, and the women in his family, have questioned both the message and the meaning. Because what is responsibility when you have 18 children, multiple marriages, and public scrutiny? What is strength when you've been called out for favoritism and control? In the field on Special Forces, castmates admitted tension. One said of Kody, "Some people would get under your skin, you guys will see that on the show." For many women watching, the issue isn't whether he lifts weights, it's whether he lifts others. And more importantly, when the cameras are off, does the leader step up or step back? And now, the major question. The twist is coming, when what he claims is strength might reveal something else entirely. Stay tuned, we're about to expose the moment when Kody's concept of manhood collided with his own past, with his family, and with the women who believed in him. The truth behind the venture is even tougher than the training. In his interview, Kody says he really appreciated the difficulty of Special Forces because there's a camaraderie you develop. Sadly, Sister Wives has really become an experience of criticism and backbiting. That statement signals the tipping point. He's trading the complicated family legacy for a reset, a redemption arc. But it also opens a scarred territory. His marriages ended, 3 former wives, and the only real marriage left is with his 4th wife, Robyn Brown. For the women in his orbit, his viewers, his children, his ex-wives, this is seismic. The man once seen as unshakable is now repositioning. Then came the moment of reveal. On the show's premiere, he said, "I don't care if you love me. I care if you respect me." It raised flags in the women's community. Respect versus love. Leadership versus warmth. Strength versus empathy. And this is when the twist cracks open. The show of masculinity was far more about image than introspection. The battle he chose was external, yet the war was internal. The big twist, the moment the audience realized that Kody's so-called leadership based on manhood might not have been about others at all, but about self-preservation. And the backlash, it's louder than you think. Here it is, the twist. While Kody claims his good quality manhood is his strength and leadership foundation, the evidence suggests this concept has been less about uplifting the group, and more about reinforcing his control. Former wives accusing him of leaving them behind, castmates admitting friction, fans online calling out the disconnect between what he says he is and what he acts. Why? Because leadership grounded in manhood, as he describes it, respect, dominance, demonstration. For the women watching, the reveal isn't that he's strong, it's that his definition of strength excluded their voices. His leadership shined in a battlefield, but faltered in the family field. And the clincher, women who supported sister wives, who rooted for the Brown family's faith-based version of life, now feel unsatisfied. Because the hero's narrative changed from servant leader to self-asserted commander. Nice abs and rappel skills, but have you helped your wife in real life? He says he wants respect. But where's the compassion? On podcasts, blogs and forums, especially those where women critique reality TV's portrayals of men, the commentary is heavy. They say, when masculinity is raised as leadership, the risk is it becomes a veneer over avoidance of emotional accountability. Meanwhile, former castmates of Special. On his home turf, Robyn says she initially said, "I don't think I want you to do that," when he suggested joining the show, but then realized he would go anyway. For women who've believed in his public persona, the damage isn't just disappointment, it's distrust. They ask, if the leader can't show vulnerability or collaboration, does he truly lead? And for you, the viewer, it raises a question: what do you want from the men in your life? Respect, love, authority, or partnership? Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. We rewind. It's 2010 when Sister Wives premieres. A polygamist family becomes a reality TV phenomenon. Kody, his 3 wives, their children. The world watched. The message seemed clear: faith, family, transparency. Then, Robyn entered, presented as a wife drawn by faith, by love, by choice. The image was seamless, but whispers began. Reports surfaced that the family's story wasn't entirely true. According to devotions in fan forums and spoilers, Robyn's arrival may have been far different. An article claims she was Kody's mistress, met him in a mall while he held a sales job, not at church as the show claimed. The show wasn't a lie, but the Browns lied throughout the show. For women who saw strength in the family's presentation, this felt like a betrayal. We'll soon follow Kody's path from family patriarch to desert recruit, and the collision of those two worlds. As Kody volunteers for special forces, the question becomes, is this redemption, or a distraction? Fast forward to 2025. Kody, now 57, is on Fox's Special Forces, world's toughest test. He says, good quality manhood, is taking responsibility for the job that needs to be done and doing it. And, I don't care if you love me. I care if you respect me. On screen, rappelling from helicopters, carrying heavy loads, enduring grueling instruction. Off screen, a man whose plural marriages ended, whose family's legacy is frayed. His former wives separated, kids spoken out. One daughter, Maddie Brush, publicly accused him of lying. Your dad's saying lies about you for the entire world to hear teaches it to you real quick. Women watching at home, you've been invested in his journey, his leadership, his faith. But the question lingers, what is the foundation of the authority he claims? Here's where the tension thickens. The battlefield looks real, the pain looks real, but what lies beneath? In one episode of Sister Wives, Kody admitted, there is a lot of wisdom that we lacked in our marriage. Yet he insists he never intended to leave his wives, even though the separations reveal otherwise. In the field, Kody seeks respect, sees manhood as performance. At home, the voices say otherwise. Former wives call him aloof, control-oriented, daughters say their father-engineered narratives. On Special Forces, castmates hint at friction. For the women watching, the hero you rooted for has multiple faces. What happens when the idea of strength becomes the barrier to healing? The answer is closer than you think, and it's coming. The twist, Kody's pursuit of good quality manhood and leadership isn't just about lifting heavy loads or commanding troops, it's a cover for a deeper insecurity and a far larger deception. While he pushed through the deserts of the Moroccan training course, his home front held unspoken truths. The lie that Robyn entered the family for faith. Possibly false. The claim of a unified, transparent family. Shattered. The authority girding his manhood. Built on unaddressed family fractures. At the moment of revelation, women watching now ask, was his journey into special forces a quest for respect, or an escape from accountability? More than physical strength, this was a grand performance. And the biggest lie, not just about how Robyn joined the family, but about the model of leadership he sold the women of America. The fallout. It starts here. He has abs and a uniform, but where's the heart for his family? When Robyn speaks, in the stories, they call her manipulative. Some daughters call him a liar. Not just viewers, those closest publicly have weighed in. For the women who aligned with the Brown narrative, this feels like betrayal. For daughters of polygamist families, a mirror. For mothers and wives of America, a cautionary tale. We examine long-term implications. How male leadership defined by domination fails emotional leadership. How televised authenticity can mask manipulation. How women invested in such stories must reclaim their lens. Before the battlefield and the bragging rights, there was a home. Built on shared promises. Rewind the tape, 2010 to 2014, the laughter, the vows, the vision of unity. I rewatched season 1, Robyn's entrance feels scripted now. It was never about faith, it was about control. As viewers began re-examining the past, the perfect facade cracked. The same audience that once adored them, now demanded answers. To understand what drives this kind of transformation, we spoke with experts who've studied reality TV archetypes and family psychology. Dr. Elaine Morris. When men equate leadership with dominance, it often masks deep insecurity. Viewers sense that contradiction immediately. Professor Rita Hawkins. Shows like Sister Wives blur authenticity. Once the public sees the performance, trust collapses. The verdict. Strength without empathy isn't leadership, it's theater. And every act has its curtain call. 2010. Sister Wives premieres, Family of Faith. 2014. Fan blogs question favoritism. 2023. Marriages dissolve, Christine leaves. 2025. Kody joins Special Forces right-pointing arrow viral masculinity quotes ignite backlash. In just 15 years, the Brown brand traveled from spiritual solidarity to social media scandal. Each headline told a new version of the same story, a man trying to control the narrative, and a world that finally stopped believing. We invited women from across America to share how they feel watching Kody redefine manhood. Woman number 1. I used to admire his confidence, now it feels like armor. Woman number 2. Strength is fine, but where's the gentleness? Woman number 3. If respect means silence, count me out. The audience that once cheered is now rewriting the lesson. Leadership starts with listening. Next Sunday, we turn the lens to Robyn Brown herself, the woman who stayed when everyone else walked away. What does loyalty look like when truth is optional? If you're watching this story and feeling the shift, hit like, subscribe, and share. Tell us in the comments, when a leader shows strength, what kind of strength do you value? We'll be exploring that in our next video, so don't miss it. As the dust settles, Kody stands in a new role, a desert survivor, reality TV contestant, father, former polygamist patriarch. The battlefield may end, but the home front remains. For Robyn, for the former wives, for the children, for the viewers, there is no clean victory. There are choices. Healing is possible, but only if the truth is faced. The deepest resolution. Leadership isn't about proving you can do the hard things. It's about showing up when the cameras are off. It's about listening when you think no one's watching. It's about being strong enough to be gentle. So as we close, remember this. You've watched a man fight to lead. But what about the women standing beside him? What about their stories? The next chapter is theirs. And for you, the viewer, you deserve narratives where you're seen, heard, respected, not just an audience to someone else's glory. Thank you for watching. If this moved you, share it with a woman who needs to hear it. Because when truth meets strength, and leadership meets love, real change begins.